Good morning. I'm Catherine Catabiani, music director and member of the UU Catskills Worship Committee. My pronouns are she and her. Welcome friends, guests, members to the service, and thank you for joining us this morning. If you're new and watching on Zoom and would like to be added to the mailing list, you're invited to type your name and email into the chat box. And if you're new and here with us in the sanctuary, if you're brave, you can stand and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Diane. I'm from Middletown and just visiting friends in Packard, so I decided to come up.
Welcome, Diane. All ages are welcome here. Should you need to move about freely, there's a room across the hall to which the service is piped, so you won't miss anything. Whether on Zoom or here in the sanctuary, welcome. And after the service, don't run away. Those on Zoom can stay for breakout room, and those of you here in person can stay for refreshments that Judy has been setting up. And you can pop $1 or $2 in the little container to cover the cost of the cookies. So special thanks to Jenny O'Grady-Giddy, who's our Zoom host, and our sanctuary technical magician, Tom Hackett. We have a few announcements this morning. For the week's announcements, they are in the weekly update and the newsletter, which arrived a couple days ago. And you can also visit the website, uucatskills.org. So, Ellen.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, I have to get my phone. Okay. This is a message from First Acoustics. First Acoustics returns next Sunday afternoon. We'll be showing the documentary film How Saba Kept Singing, about how cantor David Wisnia, also known as Saba, survived in a Nazi death camp through music. His grandson Avi, also a musician, will be here to perform his music live and talk about his grandfather. Please see me after service today if you would like to make a reservations to pay at the door. The show is next Sunday at 3 o'clock here, and doors open at 2:30.
Thank you, Ellen. UU 101 is in person and on Zoom will be offered next Sunday, March 10 at noon. At this informal session presented by the membership committee, you'll learn about UU history, our 7 principles, and the UU Catskills governance and activities. The event is geared toward interested visitors and potential members, but all are welcome to attend. I never attended that. I wonder if I'm allowed to be a member. A special invitation extended to those who wish to become a member at this time and be included in our new member Sunday in June 16th. An RSVP to membership@uucatskills.org is appreciated for this 101 session. In 3 weeks, our service will be the blessing of the animals. You will be able to share a photo of an animal, a wild one or a domesticated one. Send the image to Kathy Atwell to be shown on the big screen, or you can bring in a photo on that Sunday. You're also invited to join your friends for the cottage meetings, where you can enjoy good food and company and discuss our thriving future. Sign-up sheets are posted in the sanctuary. Are they out? Are they in?
I don't know where she wants, I'll just put them over there.
Okay, they're over there. You can also sign up using the link in the weekly update. Let's see. Each Sunday, the Social Action Committee shares a notice of an event, an opportunity, or an idea that provides an easy way to support our justice work beyond our 4 walls. Today, we'll hear from Karen Miller, who will be speaking on social justice.
Morning. Karen, many of you know my name. And I'm the coordinator of the Food Justice Working Group and the Voting Rights Task Force. Unitarian Universalism is a justice-seeking faith. Our Unitarian Universalists for Social Justice sends us action alerts that align with our UU principles. So you'll see, expanding the child tax credit is one of the most effective approaches to alleviating child poverty in the United States. That's been proven. The Afghan Adjustment Act will allow Afghans who were evacuated from Afghanistan and those still awaiting to have an opportunity to seek lawful and permanent residence in the United States. The DREAM Act will give a pathway to citizenship for DACA recipients. These are on our social action bulletin board in the hallway. And in any way that you want to take the information from there, I think it's a way that we can act on our principles.
Thank you. So to find out everything that's going on at UU Catskills, you can visit the website, uucatskills.org. Welcome to UU Catskills. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you're welcome here. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious faith that carries no creed and welcomes all seekers. At UU Catskills, we affirm Black Lives Matter. We're a welcoming and affirming congregation for members of the LGBTQ+ community. We are a congregational affiliate of the Ulster Immigrant Defense Network, and we are active voices in the effort to address climate change. At UU Catskills, we gratefully acknowledge the Native people, the Lani Lenape, on whose ancestral homelands we gather today. So turn off your phones, put aside your concerns, and enter into sacred space and time. We'll now light the chalice. Who would like to? I saw, yes, come on up, guys. Okay. I'm gonna do it. Teamwork. You want to blow that one? Oh. Okay, let's say our words. We light this chalice in grateful, loving community. Even in the darkest of times, may its flame light paths to courage, justice, and hope. And let us join together with our unison affirmation. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love to all living beings. May we know once again that we are not isolated, but connected in wonder and joy to mystery and miracle in the universe, in this community, and in each other. Okay, today we have a treat. We have troubadour, singer, everything, Geoff Kaufman, who has been presenting music-based services for over 40 years. Over the years, he has made his living through music, which I find incredibly hopeful. But as listen to this, the shanty foreman at the Mystic Seaport Museum, and I lost my place, and the annual Sea Music Festival, touring in abroad both for the Seaport and as a solo artist, with concerts from Maine to Florida to Hawaii, Old Songs in Altamont, Star Island, and the UU General Assembly. in 2003, and he just returned from an Irish music cruise. I first met him when my husband, Richard, who's disappeared, and sorry, I met him when my husband and Geoff were involved in America the Beautiful grant production about John Burroughs 30 years ago. Geoff was an active member of the sloop Clearwater and helped to build out the sloop Sojourner Truth, right? And sang with Pete Seeger. Much of his musical career has been built around Pete's idea of getting people to sing along, and he has assured me we will get a chance to join him. So he's now going to give us our Not for Children Only.
Well, thank you, Catherine, and thank you all for having me here to do one of the things I love to do best, which is to speak to the Unitarian Universalist family and to share music and thoughts. And I'm delighted to see a couple of younger people here, but this song goes out to the younger part and all of you, and not even the younger part. It's a song, actually, I apologize because what's in the order of service is that I was going to read the introduction by Yolanda Renee King, granddaughter of Dr. King. And she wrote an introduction to a book called For Which We Stand, Our Government, How Our Government Works and Why It Matters, by Jeff Foster. And I urge you to get your hands on this book if you know any young people that you would like to inform more about the workings of our democracy. It's a wonderful book. And she wrote a really moving introduction, which I don't have the book with me, so I can't read to you. And I tried really hard Googling, I couldn't get it. Anyway, it's just, at 11 years old, she's speaking about how she is carrying on the mission that her grandfather and grandmother began. But meanwhile, some years ago, I wrote a song for Mystic Seaport for the planetarium for a program, and it seems to resonate with that message in part. And when I get to the last verse, I'll say a little something else about that. But meanwhile, your part is reach for the sky, let your mind fly. There never was a time like now. Wait a minute, I can never recite choruses. I'm gonna sing it for you once and then we'll give it a try. Reach for the sky, let your mind fly. There never was a time like now. Trust in your dreams and open your eyes. You don't know how far you can go till you try. Don't know how far you can go. You wanna try that? Reach for the sky, let your mind fly. There never was a time like now. Trust in your dreams and open your eyes. You don't know how far you can go till you fly.
you guys out. Okay. As you leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness which you learn light your heart till you return. Congregation aimed by your generous gifts. You can contribute using the donate page on the website. You can mail in a check. There's a QR code in your order of service, or you can put something in the basket as it passes. But we also contribute to 7 worthy organizations through our half-plate donations. Seed Song Farm, Center for Creative Education, the Hudson River Sloop Clearwater, Kingston Emergency Food Collaborative, the A.J. Williams Myers African Roots Center, Hudson Valley LGBTQ Center, and the Ulster Immigrant Defense Network. Okay, and I'm going to play some George Gershwin. Thank you for all your generosity. And now we come to the best part. I'll reintroduce Geoff.
Well, I want to present a program that I'm calling Democracy Unveiled in Song. And I want to start with a song that was written by John Nicholas in Maine. He actually was transported from California some years ago, but I met him at a gathering on Swans Island, an annual celebration that we do out there, the Sweet Chariot Festival. And John is a little bit of a kind of a rock and roll-y kind of guy, but he's written a couple of songs that are very adaptable to my style. And this one grabbed my ear as soon as I heard it. So I want you to listen carefully to these lyrics to understand what he's saying about us in America. I'm gazing out at your hills, and the mountain we carved long ago, past the trail of tears that runs bitter, shadows as black as the crow. It's quiet out on the prairie where the memories shimmer like dew. America, 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 it's you. I'm walking down in your valleys, looking for buttons and rings left by the soldiers that fell here to rest where the meadowlark sings. The heartbeat of drums in the distance, the song of the gray and the blue. America, 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 it's you. I'm looking out at your fields and the amber waves in the sun, and I'm thinking that bounty and grace do not fall on everyone, and I'm wondering about the harvest and the vine where the grapes of wrath grew. America, 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 it's you. Grandmothers, grandfathers came here, dreams planted on you. America, 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 it's you. If I travel the length of this land, if I travel the rest of my days, to her forest and rivers and valleys, mountains and shining blue bays, I'd court her like a bridegroom, pray that my love would stay true. America, 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 it's you. America, 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 it's you. Well, you don't have to applaud after these songs, because what I really want you to do is just take these words in and think about what these writers are saying in these songs. I think it speaks to this moment incredibly powerfully, and I think we're in a very frightening moment when it comes to our democracy. So I gave that initial song to suggest that in these days of hyper-partisanship, it's important for us to take a critical look at our country and our history, and would that the likes of Ron DeSantis would do the same. I think it's terribly important that we try to get all of ourselves and our young people to pay really careful attention to our history. And so I want to let four other songs speak to that question. The first one being Leonard Cohen's Democracy is Coming to the USA, which he finished in 1992, but he began in 1989 with thinking about Tiananmen Square, then amplified by the fall of the Berlin Wall, and then more elements of the song. I mean, it took him 4 years to write this song. More elements coming to him with our first Gulf War. All of those things are referenced in this song. So this is his analysis of democracy coming to the USA. It's coming through a hole in the air from those nights in Tiananmen Square. It's coming from the feel that this ain't exactly real, or it's real, but it ain't exactly there. From from the wars against disorder, from the sirens night and day, from the fires of the homeless, from the ashes of the gay. Democracy is coming to the USA. It's coming to a crack in the wall on a visionary flood of alcohol. From the staggering account of the Sermon on the Mount that I don't pretend to understand at all. It's coming from the silence on the dock of the bay, from the bold, the brave, the battered heart of Chevrolet. Democracy is coming to the USA. It's coming from the sorrow in the streets, from the holy places where the races meet, from the homicidal bitching that goes down in every kitchen to determine who will serve and who will eat, from the pools of disappointment where the women kneel to pray for the grace of God in the desert, here in the desert far away. Democracy is coming to the USA. Sail on, sail on, almighty ship of state, to the shores of need, through the reefs of greed, through the squalls of hate. Sail on, sail on, sail on, sail on. It's coming to America first, the cradle of the best and of the worst. It's here they got the range, the machinery for change. It's here they've got the spiritual thirst. It's here the family's broken. It's here the lonely say the heart has got to open in a fundamental way. Democracy is coming to the USA. I'm sentimental, if you know what I mean. I love this country, but I can't stand the scene. I'm neither left nor right, but I'm staying home tonight to get lost in that hopeless little scream. I'm stubborn as those garbage bags that time cannot decay. I'm junk, but I'm still holding up this little wild bouquet. Democracy is coming to the USA. Sail on, sail on, the mighty ship of state, to the shores of need, past the reefs of greed, through the squalls of hate. Sail on, sail on, sail on, sail on, sail on, sail on, sail on. So that covers a lot of ground. But I think that Cohen was cautioning against taking the fall of the Soviet Union as a triumph for democracy, and taking a careful look. 35 years later, we can take a careful look at how things have progressed since then. And how potent is that chorus of sail on, O mighty ship of state, to the shores of need, through the reefs of greed, through the squalls of hate. And in that last verse, when he says, I'm neither left nor right, but I'm staying home tonight to get lost in that hopeless little screen. That little screen has magnified into this thing. And all of us, and particularly younger generations now, spend so much time on social media that wasn't really a part of the picture for Leonard Cohen when he wrote this song. It's just astounding and terrifying to think of the power that those little screens have. So that is part of the message for us. And now we're finally getting legislatures to try to pay some attention to that power and what can we do about it. But we haven't done it soon enough. And the ability for that little screen to amplify the anger and the vitriol is just terrifying for me. So to take a little different, curiously upbeat look at everything that we might be going through, one of my all-time favorite songwriters is David Mallet. And you probably know the Garden Song. Many of you, that might be the only song you know of his. I would urge you to go listen to a bunch of David Mallet's material. But his latest album is called Celebration. And he wrote this song, the title cut of that album, when he was looking out at his yard and his two sons were out there working. And he thought, that generation is going to have to pick this up, pick up the work that we all have to do. And so he's talking a lot about that younger generation in this song, but he's also, well, listen to the last verse when we get there. But meanwhile, he just covers a raft of the reality that we are dealing with. Gotta hydrate. Sometimes you just don't feel like trying. Too many politicians lying. Too many hungry babies crying. Too many random bullets flying. Too much time spent in struggle. Too many little kids in trouble. Too many cities gone to rubble. Too many people cocking double. This can't be our generation. This could be a better nation. Time to set the big horse racing. Need a brand new generation. We can change the conversation. Trains are leaving from the station. This could be a celebration now. Situations changing fast. Too much plastic, too much trash. Too many smokestacks spewing ash. Too many people with no cash. Too much waste and not enough water. Too many abandoned sons and daughters. Too many lost and hopeless feelings. Too many low-down, shady dealings. This can't be our destination. This could be a better nation. Time to set the big horse racing. Need a brand new generation. Trains leaving from the station. Me, I've got no reservation, but this could be a celebration now. All this time I hear the roaring, pavement steel and roaring. People shouting all so sure their side's the right side more and more. I see abandoned stores and floors, weary, tired, poor. All the time, folks, they're just lost within their wine because they're all so bored. It's become unnatural, the way we need the things without a reason. Feed the greed, the weed grows from the root. We're all running from this can't be our destination. This could be a better nation. Time to set the big horse racing. Need a brand new generation. Trains are leaving from the station. Me, I've got no reservations. This could be a celebration. 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 This could be a celebration now. Well, that covers a lot of ground too. But he comes down at the end to saying, comes down to me and you. And so we'll get to that part of that in a moment. But there's a lot of other people over time who have done the hard work of speaking to power, standing up against abuse and tyranny. And they paid a lot of prices along the way. And so one of my all-time favorite songs to cover that ground is Tommy Sand's Daughters and Sons. And the chorus of this is, it just comes around to, in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and in your sons, you sowed the seeds of freedom or justice or equality. So you can sing that part. Well, I guess as I get into singing this song, I want to mention a dear friend of mine from Mystic Seaport. I did work there for 35 years, ran the music program for them for 25 of those years. And one of the great singers that I had the chance to work with was a fellow by the name of Don Sinetti, who was a Vietnam vet, and he was a big, strong guy. And he was, one of the few people that could carry around the big guns that they had to carry. But he ended up being severely injured and carried those wounds for the rest of his life. He just passed away last year. But when he came back from Vietnam, he said that experience convinced him to spend the rest of his life fighting for both the environment and for justice. And that's exactly what he did as a wonderful singer, and just an activist. And so I sing this in Don's honor. They wouldn't hear your music and they tore your paintings down. Wouldn't read your writings and they banned you from the town. But they couldn't stop your dreaming and a victory you won. For you sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons. You sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons. music's playing and the writing's on the wall. All the dreams you painted can be seen by one and all. Now you've got them thinking and a victory you've won. You sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons. You sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons. You sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons. Well, drawing on Dansonet's example, the question becomes, what can we do individually? And actually, I know that as an activist congregation, you're probably doing a lot. And that is why I'm so attached to the Unitarian Universalist mission and my own activist congregation in New London, Connecticut, even though I live in Rhode Island now. But I'd urge you to be as active as possible, and in many ways, keep writing or calling your senators, your representatives, your local politicians. Let them know exactly what you're thinking. Make sure that they are aware of your voice, because it doesn't take that many phone calls or that many letters to impress those politicians. If you get enough people together to do that, it will move the needle. And the other thing is that you can obviously take direct action to help elect the people that might have the answers you want. And I will say that this last cycle, I got more active in that regard than I ever had been before. We had a young Chinese American woman running for state senate. And she was running in a part of Rhode Island that was pretty conservative, where my end of the state. And she was running against a guy who was really, really well-known businessman. And he was sure that it would be no problem winning that election. Well, we hit the street. And number one, she was very well organized. So she had the app, telling you exactly where to go to all the right people, knock on those doors. I think that those people got messages from 3 or 4 different people on her campaign. By the time we got done, she was elected 2-1 over the sky. It was an absolute wipeout. And locally, we got the first Black man to be on the town council and the first Black woman to be on the school committee. And they're both brilliant, incredible people, but I'm not sure, without a lot of people on the street talking about all of the benefits that we could have from their representation, if they would have gotten into those positions. So I just feel honored that we, in our little corner of Rhode Island, were able to do that. And so I know how effective this can be. And so on that note, I want to sing Charlie King's "She Would Not Stop Knocking at the Door." This he wrote within days of hearing about Reverend Park Cannon's objection to Brian Kemp signing, this is in March 27th of 2021, the legislation that had been passed to change the voting rights of people in Georgia. And so he came up with this. Brian Kemp's office was locked up so tight. Oh, you have a part in this. She would not stop knocking on the door happens throughout the whole song. So Brian Kemp's office was locked up so tight, she would not stop knocking at the door. He was signing a bill out of reach, out of sight. She would not stop knocking at the door. I better look at the lyrics to make sure I don't miss them. I don't want to depend on my weary brain. Representative Cannon, a woman on fire, she would not stop knocking at the door. Raise a ruckus, the truth, and the governor's ire, she would not stop knocking at the door. She hollered, she knocked, she protested, she did. Then he'd much rather work in the dark, like the old Ku Klux Klan, but State Rep Park Cannon knew, under the sheet he's a shark. The Georgia Assembly had passed legislation. She would not stop knocking at the door to send Georgia voters back to the plantation. She would not stop knocking at the door. The voters had spoken, a red state turned blue. She would not stop knocking at the door, but the Georgia Assembly was staging a coup. She would not stop knocking at the door. She hollered, she knocked, she persisted, she did. The governor thought he could hide, but running a scam past the likes of Park Cannon is swimming against the tide. They took her in cuffs to the squad car outside. She would not stop knocking at the door. Rosa Parks smiling down on one more freedom rider who would not stop knocking at the door. So many had worked for the freedom to vote. She would not stop knocking at the door. She could not get his veto, but she sure got his goat. She would not stop knocking at the door. They hauled her to jail like her heroes of old. They booked her, and here's what she wrote. We will not live in fear, we will not be controlled, and we will not be robbed of our vote. So here's to the name of persistent Park Cannon and all who have gone on before. And here's to the allies who offer a hand in the dull daily door-knocking chore. And here's to the people of Georgia who voted for Ossoff and Warnock and more. Stacey Abrams, Park Cannon, devoted, determined to walk through that door. Raise a fist, lend a hand, carry on like Park Cannon. She would not stop knocking, she kept the boat rocking. She would not stop knocking at the door. So, that just, well, if you don't know more of Charlie King's work, one of the greatest activist songwriters I know for 50 years. I mean, he has just been incredible out there on the front lines, doing the work that we all need to do. And so in regard to active feet on the street, we just heard about the Poor People's March. And we think back, to what the whole mission of the March on Washington and Martin Luther King's incredible speech back then, and all of the resonance. And you actually need to read a whole lot more of what he wrote if you haven't, because his words from one end to the other are incredible. And I found out, by the way, that his speechwriter was an incredible musician. And actually, much of the musicality of his speech comes out of that speechwriter. But meanwhile, a friend of ours out in California, Aileen Vance, was watching a Martin Luther King Day march one day and came up with this song, which kind of encapsulates a bunch of what he had to say. And so I'll finish with this and ask you to sing this chorus too, which I should know, but I'm just going to make sure I check it here. So the chorus goes, "Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream." And then it turns into love and peace and songs, verse by verse. I better do this down a little bit. There is no freedom, the wise men said. Let justice roll down, roll down. When the poor cry out for shelter and bread, let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. And if that's, if you're not in that chorus quite yet, you can do ooh, ooh, ooh. Hatred will never drive out hate. Let love roll down, roll down. Remember, our hearts can make us great. Let love roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let love roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, 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 oh. Brutality may threaten our daughters and sons. Let peace roll down, roll down. May the voices rise up above the guns. Let peace roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let peace roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, 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 oh. When the fist rise up to strike a blow, let the songs roll down, roll down. May the poets remind us of all we know. Let songs roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let songs roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, 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 oh. Step by step and one by one, let justice roll down, roll down. You can kill the prophet, but the dream lives on. Let justice roll down, mighty stream. Oh, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, believe in the dream. When the way gets rough, we'll make a new way. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Oh, 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 oh. Let justice roll down, roll down. Let love roll down, roll down. Let peace roll down, roll down. Let songs roll down, roll down. Let justice roll down, roll down. Let justice roll down like a mighty stream. Thank you very much. That's right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to extinguish the flame now. Let me. Ellen, would you like to do that? Okay. We extinguish this flame, but not with the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. From you I receive, to you I give, to from this we live, from you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Go inspired.